Today we face an extremely tough decision. We found a card collection that we really want, but to get it, we have to buy his entire room of collectibles, including $5,000 of items we know nothing about.
You take it all and add $5,000 to the number.
I don't even know if I want to get to know that world.
The history of sports cards goes back over 100 years. We are on the pursuit to find the biggest and most interesting sports card collections across the United States. Join us as we travel the large interstates and the narrow unpaved roads in our journey to continue chasing cardboard.
Okay, so we're here in Alliance, Ohio. We're getting ready to go see a collection with Rob Bertran. We've been working on this for almost a year. But before we go dig into cards and see his crazy collection, we're gonna go grab coffee from the Grumpy Troll Coffee House. Trolls, coffee, you have to go visit this place. Let's go check it out. Has Justin Timberlake been in here yet?
That is the ultimate.
That's the ultimate?
Media campaign.
So Sherry, this is no joke for coffee connoisseurs. She's making coffee with an AeroPress, which is kind of a home version of making an Americano almost. How'd you come up with the name?
Originally we called the Mocha Mocha Cafe.
Okay.
And the Troll Art Emporium.
Okay.
The Trolls quickly took over. So we had a focus group of Mount Union students and they came up with the Grumpy Troll.
Okay, this will be...
The lights are off, so sometimes we do tours in the dark.
It's a Troll Hole Hall of Fame and Troll Football Hall of Fame.
Recreation of the new Tom Benson Stadium in Canton.
Did you build this yourself?
I'm a folk artist.
Okay.
I'm untrained, untalented, and unexperienced. But this was done by a talented, trained fellow who worked for us for 7 years doing really incredible displays that took our museum over the top. We wanted Justin Timberlake to get this award, to be inducted into the Rock and Troll Hall of Fame. There he is, trollified. He started out as a Mouseketeer. His first love, Britney Spears. His band In Sync, Saturday Night Live performances he did, the Super Bowl with Janet Jackson. His best bud, Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show crew. He was the one that inducted Michael Jackson into the Hall of Fame. This is the Wall of Fame of custom troll dolls. Here's one from Spain. They're starting with 3D print. So there's the world's tiniest little troll.
Okay.
This is absolutely spectacular. What started out as a quick coffee has turned into a private tour of the largest troll museum in the world. How cool is this?
This is about the economic impact of troll dolls. All the types of merchandise. From the 60s through the 70s, 1987, trolls started making a comeback.
How long has this museum been here?
In March, it'll be 10 years.
10 years? Okay. Nice.
Whoa!
Whoa!
And they moved into the employee bathroom. So now we have over 500 troll dolls in the bathroom.
That's perfect.
Sherry's passion is contagious. You can just see her heart and soul poured into every part of her hobby.
Well, I love your passion for this. This is quite impressive. Okay, so that was a pleasant surprise. We went in to get a coffee at the Grumpy Troll coffee shop, and we ended up an hour later getting a tour of the largest and maybe one of the only troll museums in the world. Sherry was super nice. They were closed today, but she said, hey, why don't you come up and go check out these 14 rooms of trolls? So we did. That was pretty sweet. And now we got to go look at sports cards. But mad respect for Sherry, man. You just love collectors of anything who have a passion for what they do. She loved trolls. She had knowledge about it. Go check them out if you're in Alliance, Ohio. This is something pretty special. Pulling into the neighborhood where Rob Bertran lives in Alliance, Ohio, and there are American flags everywhere. Okay, Rob Bertran. This has been a year in the making. I'm excited to meet Rob finally. Rob.
Hi, how are you?
What's up, brother?
Good to see you.
Good to finally see you.
Absolutely. Welcome to the abode.
You don't even mess around. You walk right in and all you see is collector's items.
Yeah.
Life of a collector.
A little bit of everything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
glad you guys are here.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a little bit of a Chicago collector. But,
What gave it away? Oh my gosh.
well, is it the Sox, Cubs, Notre Dame,
What do you
Bears?
default to? Like if you had to pick one of the sports, what do you go to?
Hockey.
Really?
Yeah. Absolutely. I waited a lifetime.
You look at me like I'm
You should know that. Yeah. I mean, let's see. Here's my, people ask me what's my favorite piece of memorabilia. How about my media credentials from the Blackhawks' first Stanley Cup in 60 years?
I've been listening to Rob on the radio for, I feel like decades. He's been kind of a face or a voice in the hobby through different talk shows and now Go GTS Live. And he has a lot of respect for the way he just treats people and the way he represents the hobby. So it's kind of surreal actually being at his house, seeing his collection and where he flips on that camera and turns on his mic. It's pretty neat.
What's up, Cardboard Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Go GTS Live, the Hobbies web show. Hope you guys are doing well this evening. Thanks for...
I started collecting again, I think in 2001.
Okay.
Just needed something to occupy my time.
I think it did.
Yeah, it really did. One of the things that I learned along the way is there's a difference between accumulating and collecting. And then as you collect, you also want to be able to curate.
Rob works for GTS, and GTS is the largest distributor of sports cards in the world. They have offices all over the place, and they distribute those hobby products and retail products to the card shops that you go and buy from.
When you have something, three-dimensional, you got to have backdrops. It doesn't make any sense just to have stuff on a shelf and nothing behind it, so it brings it to life a little bit. The reason I got into Notre Dame, I had the opportunity when I was a junior in high school to go to a USC Notre Dame game at Notre Dame, and I was hooked.
Revolutionized.
Ever since. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. My interests kind of expanded. Marvel, WWE, so I just didn't limit it to just cards.
That's the first
collect
thing
what you love, right?
Stood out to me is that you got all kinds of stuff in here.
Yeah.
You are a collector.
Yeah. I got started collecting at a young age. I remember being taken to a garage sale by my parents and scored a shoebox of cards and found a Brett and Yount rookie card. So that was 75, so it would have been the following year. In 76 that we went to this garage sale, and I just always loved baseball and kind of gravitated towards that.
A lot of people might not know your history in the hobby. You've been around the block.
I work in the industry now and have for several years, so when you can do what you love, you don't work a day in your life, and that's really how I've kind of looked at it for the last several years. And I came across a website called cardcornerclub.net. I don't know if you remember Card Corner Club. And I really appreciated the reviews of products, pros, cons, set completion rate, pulls, pictures, high res. And this was back in 2002. 21 years ago, before the internet really is what it is as far as hobby media goes. And they also had an AM radio show. And I was listening to that and happened to win a t-shirt. And so I was wearing that t-shirt the first national I went to in Chicago. And all of a sudden, from across the room, I hear someone yell, "Nice shirt!" And I'm like, and it was the guys from cardcornerclub.net. And we got to talking, and they're like, "Do you write?" I said, "I've actually been told I'm a pretty decent writer." They're like, "We're looking for someone else to review products, contribute." They're like, "I'll send you a box. Write a review, and we'll take it from there." And that got me into the hobby and on the kind of the media side of things. And it was really just kind of a labor of love, got free product out of it and whatnot. We were looking to sell the radio show to GTS if they were interested, GTS distribution. And because we had had a radio show for so long, but this is a visual medium, right? So we said, well, we need to take it from blog and radio to video now. And so Go GTS Live became the first live streaming web show, and we dubbed it the Hobbies Web Show, and that's what it still is today.
You know, for someone who has seen and touched probably every product that's come out in the last 30 years, it holds a lot of weight because you know he's seen it all and he really understands what makes a good product. Why are we here looking at your collection? I mean, what's
Well, I have a couple daughters, and one is a senior this year, getting ready to go to college next year.
Okay.
She's going to study engineering, and tuition is expensive. And I have another daughter in a few years wants to go to a Bible college to be a youth counselor, or a youth pastor rather. I've really enjoyed it, but at this point, it's stuff. And I want my girls to get the benefit of, you know, the investment I've made into it so that they can grow and develop and find what they love. I reached out to Ty because, number one and most importantly, I know he's a man of integrity. I trust him. I know that when it comes time to sell, that's an extremely important qualification in the person that you work with. And honestly, I could go about it several different ways. But I like Ty, I like what he does, and I trust him. That's the bottom line.
What's ideal state then? Because you have a lot of stuff. We've already identified different things that are obscure. Wipe the room out type thing? Is that perfect state?
In a perfect world, absolutely. And I can definitely steer you on to, you know, what are some of the things that, you know, even if you're like, well, I'm not necessarily a comic and figure guy, there's things you're going to want because they got pull and juice in the market, and you can make a tidy sum.
Yeah.
So,
is there a conflict of interest for you to start selling stuff like this off?
oh no, not at all.
Would you? Is that a path you considered? Starting to sell things off individually, or is that just too much work for you?
Would you take a good pan around this room? Can you imagine selling?
Oh, I can imagine.
We haven't even opened the closet yet, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit overwhelming.
So once again, we see someone who realizes they could probably put in the hard work to sell all of their cards and piece it out and get maximum profits.
But it'd be like taking on a second job. Do I want to do that? I don't know.
It is really a second job to take on.
I have a beautiful wife, 2 lovely daughters that I like to spend time with. So, and knowing my oldest is leaving next August for school, it's like,
You don't want to spend those.
yeah, I want to be
few
slave
moments.
to this computer.
Rob's facing a situation that we see often, and that is you just reached a different stage of life, and he's realizing that the cardboard, as cool as it is and as fun it is to show other people, there's real things, there's tangible things that he can exchange those cards into, like paying for his daughter's college. So I get it. I get where he's coming from, and we're starting to see that a lot more.
Everything must go, Ty.
Everything. Can we open this door?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before he opens that door, give me 30 seconds. If you love this episode and you love seeing Chasing Cardboard content, do us a huge favor and just head on down. Yeah, keep going down and click that like button for us. That's all you got to do. Click the like button. We would appreciate that. If you want to subscribe as well, that would be awesome. The second thing I want to tell you is you're going to want to wait until after the credits. We have a special announcement, a surprise for you after credits of this episode. So hang tight, wait till the end. You'll be glad you did, I promise. All right, back to the show.
So I tried for a while to work on a run of top sets. The one that is completed is my 1970 set. I completed this. This is my birth year. That's why this was the one that I went after. But you can't find these anymore. And so laminated checklists, part of the deal.
What?
Yeah. I mean, you got to have the wrapper, right?
Well done on this. Yeah, that's beautiful. Are all these sets then, or they just random cards from the...
Most of the newer ones, definitely. Also, the other ones that aren't as fancy labeled, that are just written on there, those are complete sets.
This is all over the place, so this is really cool. I'm excited to dig into this stuff. Wow, how often do you go back through this stuff? I mean, as a collector, do you have downtime and you're like, I want to go back through these boxes?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I did go through recently. Do you ever start collecting a player and then go, that wasn't maybe, why did I do that? Well,
yeah.
As a Sox fan, one of my favorite players was a guy that hit 30 home runs, 100 RBI, and 300 average like 4 years in a row.
Okay.
Maglio Ordonez.
How big of a collector would you have said you were at the time? Like, all in on Maglio?
I was all in on Maglio, and I was buying probably 4 to 8 different boxes of product a month. But this is when I recently walked myself through again, and I'm like, wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
how's the market for Maglio Ordonez?
I don't know. I haven't even checked.
You were cracking boxes, you were writing reviews, so you were seeing all the products.
Yeah.
What were some of the other products that you gravitated towards? After filling out a review, you're like, oh, this is good.
That's easy. Just about anything from Upper Deck.
Upper Deck, Topps, Panini, and Leaf. There have been some great products from each of them over the years. What is your favorite product? Let us know in the comments below.
How about one of the greatest sets ever produced, Century Legends? Some of the first on-card autographs of some Hall of Famers. That's a great set.
So that's interesting because a lot of times people forget how good Upper Deck was in the early 2000s. I mean, they came on, late 88, 89?
Mm-hmm. And then think about
great glossy technology.
On-card autographs of Hall of Famers, including Mickey Mantle, remember?
Yeah.
First pack inserted autographs of the Mick, Reggie Jackson. It's a totally different industry in just a short period of time when you think about it. Upper Deck was the first company that got an exclusive, and that was with the NHL. And I really wondered at the time what that was going to do to the industry. And to Upper Deck's credit, they have never rested on their laurels. To this day, you know, if you crack an Upper Deck product, it's top notch. And that's why the league continues to renew their license, is because they continue to innovate and they continue to just give fans, especially hockey fans, what they want. I don't want to open a box and have a third to a half of it be inserts and parallels. I personally just don't. You know, I don't want to buy 4 boxes to build your 200 card base set.
Amazing products from the early 2000s. What modern products do you kind of, when you see them in the store, you're like,
I've been really impressed with what Upper Deck's been doing with the Marvel license, but not necessarily Studios license, the comic license. I mean, that's art. Yeah, it's beautiful. Incorporating additional substrates and technologies, you know, canvas. One of the things I learned early on about reviews, and in comparison to other people, and you've read them, this product sucks. Really? The entire product sucks. There are pros and cons. As someone in the media, independently, you want to be able to share the good and the bad, and let the collector make the purchasing decision from there.
It's really nice just hanging with Rob. I mean, you see him on camera, and then you get to talk to him here face to face, and you could just see it coming out of him, how much he loves collecting sports cards, how much he loves curating his type of love for his sports teams through items. I just have a lot of respect for that type of approach to the hobby.
My dad and I loved watching Walter Payton run together. In fact, I know to this day, it's etched in my memory where I was when I found out that he died.
And our top story is the health of Walter Payton.
His friends, his teammates, fans all call him Sweetness, but there is no sugarcoating the fact that Payton is now facing the challenge of his life. At a news conference today, Walter and his doctor explained that the Bear great has been placed on the waiting list for a liver transplant.
I was downtown working in sales. I was walking from our office to a client visit and had my headphones on and breaking news. And as I stepped off the curb and they said Walter Payton died, I nearly got hit by a right turning taxi because it just floored me. I mean, it just floored me. The one and only Mike Ditka.
Yep. Classic
Picture of him flipping off the press. Can you beat on-card autographs of Gary Fensick from the '86 Bears?
Yeah, he's
Mike Singletary.
pops to mind every time I think of on-card autos. Yeah.
Ripken and Ryan were two people that I always just appreciated their game. I mean, Ripken was really instrumental in helping save baseball after the strike. And, you know, I was kind of the early getting back into collecting. I kind of gravitated towards him. Not that I was a Baltimore fan, just appreciated the person that he was. This is a pretty cool card. I always thought Don Ross should have named this card instead of Legends of the Game, Banned from the Game. Pete Rose, Joe Jackson, dual
That's a
memorabilia.
monster. Well, man, this is a very nicely curated collection.
Thank you.
You got the balls, you got the jerseys, you got the cards, you got figurines.
500 Home Run Club.
Yeah.
Except some of the newer guys. I just started, I picked up a Bonds a couple years ago, but I've got all the original members minus Babe Ruth and Mel Ott.
Well, I have my work cut out for me.
Yeah, you do.
I got to get my bearings here.
Okay.
Can we start with the box that you've already kind of put stuff in?
The inserts and all that from the upper shelf? Yeah.
So one of the cooler pieces of Rob's collection, the memorabilia cards from the initial Hall of Fame class. I mean, the Babe Ruth number 10 is amazing. Dual bat relic. So you got Mathewson, you got Honus Wagner, what do we got? Mays, Lou Gehrig, DiMaggio, Cobb. You just got bunches of extra cards, some of the leftover vintage from the other room. My hesitation is just making sure I want to jump into this stuff and learn it and invest the time. I trust Rob a ton, and so I think it's probably worth our time. I don't think he would lead us astray there. And plus, I'm kind of excited about learning something new. So we've been going back and forth for so long.
I know.
I don't even know what we've actually said and what is realistic anymore, because even in the last 15 months, I feel like the card market's just kind of like, it's different. It's different.
Yep, it is.
Where do you sit? I mean, where do you sit with things? Kind of like, you said perfect scenario for you is like, take it, sell it all. I don't want to see it anymore, and I want to focus on other things. What does that mean for you? I mean, do you have a number in mind? Because look, I mean, you know the way we work, right? I mean, we do it. So I look at it like, okay, if I'm going to put the time in, it's going to make sure it's worth our time to put in.
Absolutely.
So that's the lens I look at it through. But it's not meant to be an insult either way, one number or not. I just want to make sure like I don't like a business in these situations. Because as a friend, it'd be like, what do you want? I want to take care of a friend.
Right.
And you are a friend.
I get it. I purposely don't have a figure in mind because I don't know all of the time equity that's involved.
Yeah.
That said, you come to me first. You're not going to hit me with a number that I'm like, it's one of those things where it's going to be what it is, and if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's realistic for you?
Okay, so in fairness, and I kept asking about entertainment stuff because it's an insult to you to even act like I know what I'm talking about. I just don't. I don't even know if I want to get to know that world. Card-wise, what I think I can sell your cards for is between $25,000 and $30,000.
Okay.
That's what I think I can sell it for. That's taking all your graded stuff, which is very easy to price out. I see it all the time and know exactly where it's going to be within reason. And then the other stuff I think I could piece out over time and do fairly well. 25 to 30 I think is a pretty accurate range of where it would end up. You got balls, you got the pucks and stuff like that, which
easy flips.
But the entertainment stuff, I just don't know. That's where I was asking your percentage. I was like, if it's 30% of that ish.
The entertainment, the comics, and the figures, we can look at adding a portion or adding a number to what your offer is.
Yeah.
That's comfortable. So what kind of return are you looking, if you think you can sell something for 25 to 30,
Yeah.
what does that mean for me?
Yeah, so with your collection, it's probably 3 to 5 live auctions and a full-time guy for about 2 months. So I'd be looking at paying 15 grand for a $25,000 collection.
Okay.
So for your cards, I would feel comfortable writing you a $15,000 check, and that I would be good, and it's an accurate price. For the other stuff, it's just I'm trusting you, and you tell me what is fair for that stuff. And I would maybe do it, or you would just say, no, just I'll sell it somewhere else. I'll separate it off.
You take it all and add 5 grand to the number and do me at 20. I think it's a win-win.
20 grand for everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have you help us ship it back.
Not a problem.
Yeah. 20K for everything. I mean, shoot, when we were talking a year ago, you were wanting to be at 40. That's where I was kind of like, dang, I don't even know. If
I know.
It's fair.
I know.
But
That's why I think 2020 can be a win-win.
Are you sure you're good with that?
It's a little less than I'd like, but I get it. We're in a different market. It's going to take a little time. But you don't want to leave yourself money on the table, and I know it's there.
Okay. 20,000 is a very fair offer, man. That's more than fair from your perspective. I get it. It's not even about the fairness. It's more of like, do we want to commit to the entertainment stuff? I think that's where we're struggling.
You're only here because I know you wouldn't steer me wrong, and I hope you feel the same way about me.
Yeah, I do.
You know, you're not going to get back and in 18 months go, I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 20K. Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really excited how it worked out. Rob understood the amount of work that was going to go into this particular collection. He understood the risk that we were going to take. So ending up at $20,000 seemed fair. It was a bit more than we wanted to spend, only because we just didn't understand the entertainment market. But we're going to take everything we can tonight. We're going to package this up, and we're going to get it back on a plane with us. And Rob is doing us a super solid favor and is going to get the rest of the stuff on a pallet and shipped out to us back home. So it was a great time with Rob. I'm really excited we got the collection. We have a lot to dig into.